How's it going, everybody? My name is Avery. Today, this video is somewhat of a discussion video. I'll be reading through this article and talking a little bit about it. It's called Public Issues Track Your Behaviors. But basically, the point of the article is talking about etiquette on GitHub, or really etiquette on anything similar to GitHub, specifically to public issue trackers. So this article, I already read over it a little bit. It kind of just talks about things that some people do that might come off as a little bit rude or bad etiquette. So you kind of just list off some of the things from the behaviors that are bad. And one is me too or +1. Say someone has a request or an issue that they have posted on GitHub to a repo, and they say, oh, I have this problem, or I'm needing this or whatnot, and people just comment, oh, +1, me too, or like, I also see this bug. They don't provide any actual info. It is good to share that you also have the bug so other people can know that, okay, this bug is happening on other systems, but feel free to share a little bit more. If you find a bug that hasn't been solved, instead of just saying, oh, I too have this bug, give it a little bit more information. This could be said about sharing any questions you ever have that you want to post online. Don't overshare, but share a little bit more information so people don't have to ask about it, such as some error logs, what computer you're using, more about your system. Don't, at least specifically for GitHub, don't just say, I'm commenting to subscribe because I want to get notified when someone replies to this, when this issue gets fixed, because there is a subscribe button on GitHub. Also seeing this is kind of the same thing. If it's from years ago, don't just be like, oh, just make sure that your error that you're checking out is actually what the error is. It says, oh, someone has this issue, but you're looking at something from an Android crash from 3 years ago and you're having an issue on Windows. So make sure what you're looking at is actually what you're talking about. And don't just comment on there and be like, is there any updates or any news on this? Especially if it's something old. They'll get worked on as they get worked on. So this is important. It's a lot of this stuff, specifically, it's open source stuff or it's on GitHub. You can go ahead and create your own pull request. You can work on things like that. And of course, it's nice to see other people doing things, but you can be involved as well. Any workarounds, I don't feel like this is as bad as a problem compared to some of the other things. If there's a bug and the bug hasn't been posted, you can ask for a workaround. But in this is the case, it's saying if there was a workaround, someone would have posted it. That's possible. So I wouldn't just comment asking if there is a workaround. I would kind of add on to it. You can say, if no one else has had a reply, you can be like, I'm having this problem. This is the problem exactly as I'm having. This is a system I'm having it on. I've tried this, and this hasn't worked. And then just kind of just add on to the issue. Of course, that some other people might disagree with that a little bit, but kind of the whole point of this is not just to add small comments, but try to actually contribute yourself. Also, don't be like, I can't believe that you don't have this feature. That's ridiculous. The competitors have X. You should have X as well, and hope for a feature. This is actually how I had found this. Someone had shared it on Twitter, but basically there's this project called MX or My Proxy, and if you go down into here, this is from months ago, April. Not too far long ago, but someone had an issue with cryptography on this project. And eventually someone had posted, this is a few days ago, I believe they're asking for a customer. I believe this person works at IBM, but I'm not sure if the customer is via IBM. But they're basically saying, is there any way that we can get this issue added? It's for regulated industries, banking, federal, etc. They're kind of coming off as a big person, as in they're important. And they're like, can we get a target date for the release? As you can see, this was a few months ago. And the person that works on this, he says, we'll get a fix for it soon. If it's helpful for your company, feel free to email me. So kind of just like that. And because they actually ended up sharing this on Twitter, I feel like more people might have got notice of this. Even on Twitter, they blocked out this guy's name. If I have to mention it, don't go harassing anyone. But they basically, I guess, I don't even know this is a feature that you can do on GitHub, but they have this locked. So as you can see, the person shared it on here. They shared their reply, and they actually said they had sent an email, and the person actually implied, assuming your response request was more of a joke, and he says less of an extortion because, it's an open source project, and he was trying to push for the fact that he wants X feature and how this Maximilian should be working on it for free, even though, if you really want something, if you're a company, don't just be commenting and saying that you want this feature. Go ahead and do the pull request, add the feature yourself, or, offer through payment. So you can offer through payment or contributing it yourself. But there's other things that are adding on to here. There's the XY problem. We're not going to talk too much about that. There's lazy pull requests. Someone opens a pull request adding a feature or bug, but it's not really useful. The pull request doesn't say what it's for. There's no description. Maybe it breaks everything else. So make sure if you're actually doing a pull request that the pull request is needed, or you have a reason to justify it, and that reason needs to be thoroughly documented, and you need to make sure that's tested and working against everyone else. One in the opposite, of course, the project's not yours. If someone has a feature that's already in the project, don't be like, okay, I don't want that feature. Let's change it to this feature. Don't use that toolkit. Use my toolkit. Anything like that. Can I work on this? This is probably something out of most of these that I think I've done at least once or twice. Saying, can I work on this? And then either never fully contributing to something, or never giving an update on it. I actually done this maybe on Raylib. There was an issue with the finger clicking on smartphones where you press down, and when you unpress or you untouch the screen, it doesn't register that your finger was released. That's an issue with Raylib on Android, and I know that there's already a previous issue on there, and I had discussed a little bit more on the issue, and then I had mentioned that's something that I wanted to look into. Maybe I had asked what file specifically or where I could look into that. And I had looked into it, but I never actually was able to solve it. And now looking back at it and thinking about it, maybe I shouldn't have said, oh, that's something I want to try looking at. Because, now someone else might see in the future, oh, someone tried to look at it, and maybe they won't want to look at it. Making sure not to at people. This was something that was an issue with, I might have talked about in a different video. It's probably with Unreal, possibly. I want to say maybe Unity or whatever company runs them. Basically, don't just at people when you have a message unless it really needs to be. Use at for the purpose of it. Don't at groups or teams or anything like that. You don't want to send out a notification just to tons of people and just bother people for no reason. And then also, don't just be sending out something everywhere. Don't file a bug on the issues on the GitHub page and then make a tweet about it and then send an email about it and post it on Reddit and Stack Overflow and send a private DM on Twitter. Try one, maybe two things. If no one gets back to you, possibly just no one's going to get back to you. And there's thousands of projects that aren't worked on. There's probably hundreds of thousands or millions of projects that aren't worked on. The people might just have a project posted on GitHub that's not worked on anymore. So if they're not working on it, it's as simple as that. They're not working on it. So you don't need to bother them too much. But yeah, that's something that I thought was kind of neat. I'll share this guy's repo. The repo is just this README of discussion. I'm not going to share these tweets. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. You can go ahead and check it out. I don't know how often this guy updates it, but it was updated last week. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting. I wanted to discuss it. So if you guys have any things that you think should be added as bad behaviors, feel free to comment them on the video or even make a pull request. I just thought about it now that I mentioned that towards the end, that there actually are some pull requests on here. And these are some more that I haven't looked at. Basically, behaviors that people think are wrong. This one, I took a quick glance at it. It's not actually fully covered. They titled it the emoji fire. But basically, I guess maybe some people just ask for you to add emojis to something. But we'll ignore that one. It's not too much. Here's the novelist, and as you can see, they actually added user does not provide a test case, instead opts to write out entire short story. Basically, instead of saying, okay, here's my error, instead of saying, this is how my error came, these are tests I did, let's just make a bunch of assumptions on what's going on and talk about my assumptions without providing any code or anything else like that. Here's the license warrior. I was going to make a guess that the license warrior is someone that's just commenting saying, ooh, what are the licenses? Or you should change the licenses. Or this license doesn't apply with the way that I want to use it. And just being bothersome like that. And then, I don't know how you pronounce that. I guess it's a face. That's not really anything. But yeah, I just thought I would quickly look at it. The license warrior and the novelist I thought were pretty interesting. Those are two good ones. But yeah, I just thought I would share that. And once again, this is the end of the video. And thanks for watching, and see you guys again next time. Bye.